I'm a fish boy who skates for Team X-Blades with a leprechaun who plays basketball. Come to my smart house, meet my alien sister. Don't come hungry, because I'll bet my mom can't cook.
Hello and welcome to Mom Can't Cook, a DCOM podcast. I am one of your hosts, Luke Westaway. Here's the other one.
Hello, I'm Andy Farrant. I'm another of the hosts. But Luke, what is a DCOM? Those are just letters to me. I don't know what they mean.
DCOM stands for Disney Channel Original Movie, and this podcast wait, don't go. This podcast is dedicated to excavating, exploring Disney Channel original movies through the late 90s and early noughties.
I'm not leaving. There's something over on the other side of the room I need to go and check on. So that's why I'm walking towards the door.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going over. I'm just going over.
Have you checked on it yet?
I'll be back, I promise.
He should have come back.
I'm back. I'm ready to talk about Disney Channel original movies. But Luke, we are both adult men. Why are we talking about movies for children from the past?
Oh, I see. We're going right there, are we?
Well, I mean, it seems the obvious question.
Okay. Well, people forget that the pandemic wasn't all good. We were stuck indoors for much of it.
Disney Plus launched like 2 weeks after the pandemic began.
It did, yes.
And obviously, you can burn through every Mickey Mouse cartoon in about 10 minutes.
Wait, I remember how this is all your fault because...
My fault?
Because Disney Plus launched and we were browsing the rich catalogue.
Sure.
And we found out to our mutual surprise and delight that James Cameron's great work Avatar is on Disney Plus.
Which I had never seen.
Which Andy had never seen.
Although you did explain the plot to me over the course of the 4 hours it took us to queue for...
Avatar
Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage.
At Walt Disney World.
4 hours.
Yeah.
I think you could learn the name, Andy.
Sorry.
This is exactly the kind of attitude that you bring to Avatar. So Andy told me that he'd never seen Avatar. Of course, I was angry for a long time.
Just furious.
Obviously, the best way to watch Avatar is in the cinema in 3D, as James intended. But Andy couldn't do that because of the pandemic, and also it came out in like 2008 or whatever. So we decided, we set a date and we watched Avatar together on Disney Plus. And incredibly, at the end of watching Avatar, Andy was thirsty for more.
More films that aren't Avatar, I think. I was looking for the exact opposite of Avatar.
Well, I think we were considering going to bed because it was quite late. Avatar is a very long film. It has to be that length because there's no fat on it. That's not what I'm saying. It's a lean filmmaking exercise.
Sure, a lean 3 hours.
You find me the 30 seconds or a minute that could be cut from Avatar.
Cool. Yeah, it can't be done.
So we were sort of browsing around and we came across something. It was a little film called Brink. The description for which reads, Andy Brink Brinker is the best inline skater at the beach, but when a spot on a sponsored team opens up, Brink feels compelled to take it, hoping to help his family with the money he'll earn. And it's a Disney movie, released in 1998, made exclusively for the Disney TV channel, and at the risk of sounding reductive, it was hilarious and we loved it.
Yeah.
Ooh, sponsored skaters. Big deal.
It is a big deal. Team X-Blades rules. Everybody knows that.
I mean, I'd heard of original movies produced by Disney.
I mean,
but
High School Musical is probably the most famous Disney Channel original movie, right?
Exactly. But what I didn't know, because we didn't really have the Disney Channel in the UK, was that like High School Musical was the apotheosis of everything that they had been working towards for many, many years. They'd been laying the groundwork with these movies that were so odd, unhinged.
They would churn out sort of 3 or 4 of these a year.
Right.
And, you're making that many films, they're not all going to be Brink.
Well, then none of them are gold. That's the thing.
Yeah, and they're an incredible time capsule of the period in which they were made as well. Like, the sort of peak DCOM is between about 1996, I think they might have started.
Yeah.
And, like, 2005, there's a sort of 10-year window.
And that's the window that we're interested in. So if you're thinking we're going to talk about your favourite DCOM High School Musical...
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We're not going to do that.
As I understand it, it's good. So I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the weird ones. So, okay, just as an example of the kind of plots that DCOMs have,
Yeah.
There's one where a boy discovers that his mother is part leprechaun, and
Yep.
on his birthday he starts transforming into a leprechaun himself.
Yep.
There's one in which a boy discovers that his mother is a mermaid, and on his birthday he starts transforming into a merman. Those are quite similar, those ones.
And and there's the one that we're going to talk about today, Smart House, the premise of which is a boy enters a competition to win an extremely intelligent robot house.
And the shenanigans that ensue.
The crucial bit of the story that we've missed out is that once Andy and I had watched Brink, we then watched 2 Disney Channel original movies every Friday throughout for a year and a half, I think.
Yeah.
We really went through them.
Double feature.
These movies that we're talking about, this kind of golden age of Disney Channel original movie, we've pretty much seen them all.
We've seen them all.
And
probably the country's foremost experts.
I really think we might be.
These are our credentials.
And it was odd because I felt like we had sunk so deep into the decom quagmire. But after a few months, we realised that we couldn't talk to anyone about this without revealing that we had been watching old children's TV movies at an astonishing rate all the time. And because we hadn't mentioned it to anyone to begin with, it became too odd. So I think that's what this podcast really is, Andy, isn't it? It's our way of telling our friends and family...
Yeah, that we've watched every decom. And then proving it by reviewing them. The problem is, though, to record this podcast, we have to rewatch the Disney Channel original movies. Because otherwise we'd forget all the details. So we're going to become people who've watched every decom twice.
Yeah, I think over the course of listening, you'll get a sense of how I guess either how low Andy and I have sunk or how high we have soared, depending on your viewpoint. But we want to bring you, the listener, along on the journey that we've already taken. We want you to hold our hands and sink with us.
And if you are a Disney Plus subscriber or you have access to these films, maybe you've got a local charity shop that's stocked with DVDs of Brink. You can
They've got to be
along.
somewhere.
Yeah, you can watch along and then join in the conversation. Send in your thoughts about the Disney Channel original movie that we'll be talking about. Along the way, you'll notice a lot of recurring themes, recurring motifs.
Oh, we should explain the name of the podcast. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Yeah,
that's where the name of the podcast comes from. It's called Mom Can't Cook, because we've noticed that in really an astonishing number of these movies, one of the central jokes is that the mother of the family is a bad cook, but not a bad cook in a sort of this isn't very tasty. A bad cook in a way that no human being ever has been. In that she'll cook like a sardine ice cream for dinner. And the kids will be like, "Whoa, sardine ice cream, Mom. That's bad." It's not always the mum. Sometimes it's the dad who can't cook.
But it's almost always.
It's almost always the mum.
And often the subtext, I think, is that the mum has a career, and that possibly that is...
that's why she thinks sardines go in ice cream.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe she learned that at her job. Yeah. Maybe that's what they told her at the office. I don't know. Yeah. And that's why she can't cook. It's a common joke, and it gets to the heart of the decom vibe, I think. These are odd fables of suburban American life told to children by adults who have not had the amount of supervision or oversight that you would expect from something that is going out on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, that is being pumped out by, I guess, Michael Eisner's media empire at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think having watched a lot of decom, that is the thing that I love about them is the fact that they are presented by the Disney Corporation, which, as we know, is famously controlling of its image, the imagination, the dream factory. But they have had this weird offshoot, the Disney Channel, where they pump out these original movies that are just do not meet any kind of quality bar. But it's just kind of been allowed to happen, and I get the impression that no one at Disney really knew this was happening.
I mean, if you've got a TV channel You need content for that TV channel.
There are how many hours in the day? We've got to fill how much scheduling?
These movies were perfect at fulfilling their purpose, which was to fill 90 minutes on the Disney Channel.
The only complaint of the people receiving the finished cut of Brink was, could it be 24 hours long? Because that would really pull our asses out of the fire.
It would really help here. Can we have an 18-hour skating sequence? Yeah. But generally, DCOMs fall into one of two categories. The ones I would describe as speculative fiction, so they've contained some sort of science fiction or supernatural element.
Yeah.
And then you get the more grounded, realistic ones. And generally, those will be sports films. So it'll be about a kid taking on some sport and becoming good at it.
But whichever genre you're looking at, normally there is a fairly clumsy attempt to have the protagonist of the story, who is almost certainly a teen boy or girl, learn a lesson and somehow grow.
13 years old seems to be the sort of age of the protagonists of these films.
Yes, in fact, 13 is exactly the year of the protagonist of today's film, Smart House. So maybe this is the point to start talking about Smart House.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming today. It's a pleasure to see such a wonderful turnout from the press corps. Although I was going to introduce the contest winners myself, it seems more appropriate to let Smart House do the honors. Pat?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our newest occupants, the Cooper family, Nick, Ben, and Angie.
We are going to assume that you've seen the movie Smart House, because otherwise we're going to end up... we don't want to explain every little thing that happens in Smart House. This is like this podcast is like a book club. So bring the required reading to bear. If you haven't watched Smart House yet, now is the point to press pause, go watch Smart House, and we will meet you back here, and we'll talk about Smart House. Does that sound fair, listener?
I think that's fair.
I think that's more than fair. I think we've been more than patient with them.
We've already sort of briefly touched on the plot, but the plot concerns a 13-year-old boy, and he is in a family with his dad and his younger sister. His mother is dead.
Whoa, you said that so shockingly.
Yeah, that's a big. You don't get that often. But because his mother is dead, he's taken on a lot of the roles around the house that he believes that his mother used to do, because he doesn't want anyone thinking his family needs a mother figure. Yeah. So he enters a competition to win a smart house because he thinks that can do all the taking care of the family for them, and he won't have to do it anymore. So that's the sort of setup for the movie.
So let's meet our principal players. We have Ben, who is 13 years old, a boy who misses his deceased mother very badly, holds her memory in incredible reverence, which is understandable. But what is maybe a little more peculiar is that he very, very closely guards his father's love life. Yeah. Early in the film, we see Ben screening his dad's calls.
He won't tell her that women have phoned the house.
Exactly. He wants to stop his dad, Nick, from talking to any women in case they replace his mother. We've got Angie, who is Ben's younger sister, who is a bit more chill and quite...
She doesn't remember her mum so much. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
And Ben counts this as an unconscionable betrayal.
We've got Nick, the father, who is always busy at work. We never get... I don't think we ever find out exactly what his job is, although it seems to involve...
I kind of inferred that he is like a sports equipment wholesaler, something like that.
The only clue you get is that occasionally he'll be on the phone talking about truckfuls of baseball bats and hats. So
this is what screenwriters of DCOM films think that actual jobs are.
Then we've got Sarah. Sarah is a genius inventor who has invented the smart house.
Yes.
We'll be talking much more about Sarah later.
She's also got a friend whose name I don't know, but whose job is to sit there, and Sarah explains Smart House to him.
His name is... I wrote down the character. His name is Miles, but he contributes so little to the narrative that I wonder if maybe he had a larger role originally.
Maybe he got killed by the Smart House, and they decided that was a bit much.
The killing scene was too graphic.
As a note as well, this movie was directed by LeVar Burton.
a.k.a. Geordie LaForge from
Geordie
Star
LaForge.
Trek.
Yeah. Much like HBO's Tales from the Crypt, DCOMs are a sort of testing ground for actors who wanted to get into directing, I think. Because it's very low stakes. It's very hard to mess up directing a Disney Channel original movie. So it's sort of half a
it's
go.
very easy to mess it up, but no one will mind if you do.
But it does, as long as it's 90 minutes long. It doesn't matter.
So those are the principal players, except, of course, for Pat, who is the AI who controls the smart house, incredibly voiced by Katie Sagal, who you will probably best know as the voice of Leela in Futurama.
Let's take a look at what you've got on tap for snacks.
Actually, I'm trying to get them to cut down on snacks.
Not to worry, Nick. My database was prepared by a team of nutritionists to ensure a balanced diet for each member of the family.
She was also Peg Bundy on Married with Children.
Yes. So there you go. You've got a real bit of star power in Smart House that you don't always get in DCOM. Now, Andy, I know before we go any further, you wanted to talk about the physical assault of the paperboy in the first scene.
One thing I did note is that this film opens with a paperboy getting assaulted, and that is, again, another theme of DCOMs that I hadn't really considered. But a lot of them open with paperboys getting assaulted.
Okay, now that you've said that, I can call to mind a few. We should say the manner of the attack is that the smart house... Well, I mean, how would you... The smart house extends a tentacle.
The smart house has Dr. Octopus tentacles that it can extend to, like, grab people and touch them. And they look they look exactly like Dr. Octopus tentacles. They look way too menacing to be like a sort of friendly smart house thing. They've got, like, spiked ends.
Take it up with Sarah.
Yeah, well,
the genius inventor.
True. She designed this. But yeah, we could have called this podcast Paperboy Gets Assaulted.
But you can see why we didn't.
Yeah, because we didn't think of it in time. Well, I'm just saying it could be. All right, well, if you're still here, then let's talk about Smart House. I'd like to start off by talking about the capabilities of the Smart House, because it seems...
Great, yes. Okay.
They seem to just sort of add things that it can do randomly. But, okay, so that's the main things.
Tell me some of
its
features, yeah.
Okay, well, the entire thing is run by PAT, which stands for Personal Applied Technology.
Yeah.
Which is the AI that runs the house. So it can do things that you would understand a smart house in the modern sense can do. It can do climate control.
Set reminders and timers and alarms.
It turns on the lights, things like that. But also, I mean, it seems to... A lot of it is based around projections. Like, it'll just project a Bewitched music video onto the wall.
I think you mean kick-butt video screens, Andy.
Sorry, kick-butt video screens is how they're described.
Hey, Pat, how about activating some kick-butt video screens?
Sure, Ben.
Yeah, you can eat your dinner on a cliff in Cape Cod, because it's you can somehow play mini-golf. I wasn't entirely sure how that was working.
Yeah, because the golf ball was sometimes in the projection, but then also fired into the room. And
sometimes it would just, like, ping off the walls. I wasn't really...
You can get it. You can watch a projection of an elephant charging you that is so realistic that it is terrifying to Angie, the little sister.
Like that video of people watching that train movie in the late 1800s, and they all dived out of the way. Okay, so you got the projections.
Yeah.
It also is quite heavily food preparation based. You can ask it to make you anything, and it will rise out of a sort of plinth in the kitchen countertop.
We do get some insight into the inner workings of the smart house, because at one point there's a malfunction, and that riser comes out of the breakfast table thing, and it's revealed that the smart house is mostly stuffed with 10,000 oranges.
Yeah, that scene where it starts to malfunction. It's just like starts firing oranges around the room, which again,
thousands of oranges.
I don't know why that is a thing that it can do.
Well, to be fair, that's a malfunction. It's not supposed to be doing that. But what we do know is that the smart house has within it a store of thousands and thousands of oranges, and presumably thousands of other ingredients.
Because those are fresh oranges.
Yes. How is it being supplied with fresh fruit?
Where this food is stored, either. There's no, like, storeroom within the house.
The walls of the smart house must just be a bustling series of funnels moving around produce. It must have deals with local suppliers. Pat must... Well. take the example of the paperboy. Pat has a working relationship with a local supplier of the newspaper. Presumably, Pat also talks to the butcher. You know, Pat can phone the butcher. Pat can phone the deli.
Yeah, maybe they didn't show the deliveries arriving.
Yeah.
It's just assumed.
LeVar Burton didn't want to bog down the film by showing a grocery delivery boy loading oranges into a coal chute. but it must be happening.
One of the more chilling elements of Pat's capabilities is when they first move into the house. And it just jabs the small girl with a needle and takes a blood and tissue sample from her. And then
without her consent.
Without her consent. And it's able to build up a sort of health profile of the child. And then Ben, the scientist lady, asks him to say something. He does. And Pat breathalyzes him and sort of builds a ideal diet from him based on his exhalations, which is... That's pretty wild. That's a pretty wild thing.
So Angie's medical records have been accessed by Pat. Yeah. And then, moments later, Sarah assures Nick, the father, that no privacy is being invaded.
Despite Pat stealing your medical records
the very first
stealing
thing
your blood.
she does is take your blood and access your medical records.
Yeah.
Another one I want to talk about is, why does Pat have the ability to deliver electric shocks through every door and surface?
Ow!
Pull up your shorts, Ben.
They look fine. Ow! Cut it out, Pat!
Pull up your shorts, Ben.
Ow!
One of the more troubling abilities for me is the... so it's got this clean-up function whereby anything you drop on the carpet can be sort of absorbed into the carpet and I guess ground up.
Again, in the bustling series of tubes that must fill the walls, sluicing food waste and fresh oranges back and forth.
There's a scene where they have a party, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but they clean up the party because their dad is walking up the drive and it's like, oh no, Dad's going to discover we have a party. And Pat says, don't worry, sweep all the garbage onto the carpet. So they do. The carpet absorbs all of the trash, but I the whole time I was watching that scene I was thinking, how are the kids also not being dragged into the carpet and just
sucked in and ground up
and just minced? How is she distinguishing between what is rubbish and what is...
Well, thank God she took their blood samples. If there had been a non-family member in the house,
a stray party cover,
they would have gone into the floor absorbers.
Yeah.
The thing that really struck me was that the floor was absorbing full solid objects. Like it's sucking a crisp, like an old discarded bag of chips through a carpet.
Yeah, or a tin, like a can of Pepsi, an empty can of Pepsi.
An empty can of Pepsi through the carpet and into, well, I don't know, an enormous acid-filled quagmire, I guess.
How big a piece of trash can go down there? If you had like a deer carcass just lying on the living room carpet,
Pat can get rid of anything you don't want to be there anymore. I have a air quotes deer carcass.
Yeah,
I'm looking to get rid of, Pat.
No problem. I will floor absorb. Luke, why are you shirtless? Why are you not wearing a shirt on your upper body?
I thought my camera was off.
No, it's a video call. I can see all of it. What happened to all your shirts? Why don't you have a shirt on?
I don't have a stitch to wear, Andy.
Man, well, great news, Luke.
Yes.
I've got for you is that this episode of Mum Can't Cook, a Decon podcast, is brought to you by our sponsor, Insert Coin, the people who make cool official clothes and other stuff based on the video games you love.
It sounds like an organisation that could clothe me.
Yeah, well, you like video games, don't you nerd? You like
Yeah, I do. I like the buttons they have.
Well, how about these video games? Dark Souls, ever heard of it?
Yeah, I love Dark Souls.
Doom, there's one.
I like that one.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Well, yeah.
All right, well, how about
Not
this?
without its charms.
How about this? Yakuza.
Oh, Yakuza's cool.
Yeah.
Fallout, you like Fallout, don't you?
Yeah.
These are all ranges that you can find at Insert Coin. And just by listening to this podcast, you have granted yourself access to a special code. If you go to insertcoinclothing.com and use a special code for this episode, House Always Wins, you can get 20% off online orders, not including bundles, charity items, gift cards, or postage. Each code is 1 use per person, and they will be valid until the end of 2022, so do not hang about. Do not wait. Go use those codes. Get clothes.
And they have cool t-shirts and also Yakuza jackets. And I have several of those, and they're great.
It's good stuff.
So go to www.insertcoinclothing.com and enter the code HOUSEALWAYSWINS, all one word, all caps, and get your 20% off. Enjoy. One thing I'm not entirely clear on is, so this smart house is won by Ben. He enters the contest to win the smart house about 1,000 times.
Yes, he does.
So he does win the smart house. Is this a publicity thing?
Well,
because this house must cost tens of millions. If you count like the R&D costs, and there's a bit where you see Sarah working on the workings of the house. She like peels back a bit of wallpaper, and there are all these loud beeping circuits behind it.
Yeah,
like this is clearly a very, very expensive house.
Yes.
And once it's done, they just give it away to this family. They don't seem to have a plan for any other smart houses. And the entirety of the publicity they get from it is one press conference outside the house where there's like 3 local journalists. I don't understand what the business reason is.
Yeah, the tech company is puzzling to me. At one point, because originally I thought that it was Sarah's company, but in fact, we do see her boss, the CEO, show up. The 3 of them stand in the smart house and anxiously wait by the phone to see who's won their incredible cutting edge. It's an epoch. I'm trying to think of the analogy. It would be like if Henry Ford made the car, but only made one, and then said like, "Who wants a car?" Yeah. Let me know in the newspaper.
If you live in my town, you can win this car.
If you live in my town, let me know if you want a car.
And then one person wins the car, and then he's like, well, on to the next great adventure.
Also, as you mentioned, Ben enters the competition many, many times.
Yeah, there's no rule on how many times you can enter this contest, because he is just over and over again.
In total, they do tell you how many entries they have in total. Bear in mind, this is to win a house. This is to win a house.
Surely 8 figures.
Yeah. I mean, forget about the technology. Let's just talk about the land. Let's just talk about like the land on which the smart house sits. Because you could, Nick could order the smart house torn down. It could probably tear itself down.
Yeah, true.
And floor absorb itself, and then he could. I don't know. Well, do whatever he wants with it. Sell the land, run an. But
there's like 5-6 bedrooms in there. 4 stories.
The total number of entries is 8,411, which is not a lot of entries for your Smart House competition. If I was the CEO of Smart House Inc., I would be wondering if we had taken the right tack.
But also the fact is that at least half of those are Ben. So they only had about 4,000 entries.
And for all we know, there's other 4,000 come from another Ben, like another kid who's interested in owning a smart house.
There are 2 people interested in owning this smart house, and that's it. That's the entire market. Well,
it does everything you want. It not only automates your entire home life, but as we see, it automates Nick's job. It streamlines his entire work. He's working from home. It's doing the calculations on shipping those baseball bats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Sarah at one point talks about other projects that she's working on. Yes. She's working on a smart office.
That's right, with a gourmet restaurant.
So
presumably she's just going to say, does anyone want an office? Are there any companies that want an office? Enter this free competition if you do.
There's no aftercare, really. The only reason that Sarah is still in touch with the family after they win the smart house is because because she's sweet on the dad and he's sweet on her. Yeah. There's no actual official art. They're like, here's the smart house, bye.
Here are the keys.
Well, we got our press conference with the local newspaper.
At that press conference, by the way, one of the probing questions that the press ask is there anything this house can't do? Ha 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 ha. Then the press leave, the family walk into the smart house, and it takes a blood sample.
Yeah.
Which nobody mentioned.
Yeah. And I get, not to get ahead of ourselves, but the house does go haywire and try to kill everyone. And the press aren't interested in that part of the story. This would be national news.
It's like, I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to imagine like Steve Jobs has the iPod. But he doesn't want. He doesn't want.
He makes one iPod, gives it to a family. It explodes. It falls in love with the dad and then explodes and kills one of the children. Probably, we wouldn't be talking about Apple in the same way.
He gathers the world's media. Well, like 5 of them from his. If you're in Cupertino, right?
He gets the Cupertino B.
If you want to come, like, take a photo of this family using an iPod. So what's this iPod
If you
do?
live in Cupertino, you can enter to win this iPod.
It stores 10,000 songs, and you can call them up and listen to them whenever you like. It's incredible. It's all the music you could ever want to listen to in your life on this one little brick. Wow, I'll take a picture. This is going to be the front page. Can I have
Cupertino
one?
shopper
No.
is going wild for this.
I wish I had an iPod. Oh well. I guess there's
Too bad.
simply.
Yeah. On to my next great project.
I love the visual of the CEO pacing the room, wringing his hands, going, "When will the family pick up?" Because at first Ben misses the call because he's on the dial-up internet.
He's still connected to the dial-up
Still
internet,
connected to
entering
the
the Smart
dial-up
House contest.
Yeah.
He fell asleep because he was so tired from entering the Smart House contest.
He only finds out when he goes to school, and in a truly bizarre scene, everyone in school has not only heard about it, but cares deeply and is interested. And they go, "Wow, Ben, you're our hero because you have a smart house now." Even though none of them really know what that means. Ben doesn't even really know what a smart house means.
And the cutest girl in school is like, "Now I find you attractive because of your smart house."
I hear you've got one hell of a smart house, Ben.
Yeah, it's too perfect, she says.
Rachel Firestone was telling me about your new house, and I was like, that's so cool. And she's all, maybe we could get him to invite us over. And I was like, why don't you ask him? And she's all, why don't you?
Yeah. That'd be great. Anytime.
Wow, seriously? It's too perfect.
At one point, a URL is presented in the film, smartsarah.com.
Oh, okay.
Did you go to check if it's a real website?
I did not know.
Okay.
Did you?
I did, and I was warned attackers may be attacking me and that my connection was not safe.
Your
private.
house may become smart. If she gets your IP address, that's all she needs to smart your house up.
Okay, we've talked about the smart house that the family win. I'm desperate to talk about the party. Can we talk about the party?
We can talk about the party, yes.
Pat, the AI that runs the smart house, gets the impression that Ben is lonely and sad because of the way that he acts sad and lonely all the time.
There's a scene where the house is watching him watch a video of his mother and crying.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of zooming in on his crying face.
A little camera lens.
Yeah. Just
sadness analysed.
Yeah. If you want to cry in private, you have to do it in the bathtub.
Yeah. It's the only way.
Yeah.
But even then, I suppose, presumably, Pat could analyse the salinity of the bathwater.
Of the runoff, yeah.
Ben, it looks like you've been crying in the shower.
Let me inject you with this. It'll make you feel happy.
Let me throw you a raging party.
Well, that's her solution. She decides to throw a rager. She accesses his email address book and emails everyone in it.
She emails
a smiley face to everyone.
Smart House came out in 1999, and I love the idea that all of the kids in school have email addresses.
Email address books. Full of the email, their contacts.
So everyone in Ben's emails is forwarded the information for a cheer up Ben Smart House party.
Which Ben has not been informed of. How would you describe the party?
Well,
apart from the kick butt video screens.
Imagine wall-to-wall kick butt video screens. That's happening already.
Yeah. Imagine Five's Slam Dunk Defunk is playing.
Yes.
And 3 13-year-old boys are doing a choreographed dance routine to it on their own.
Okay, well, all right, okay. The choreographed dance routine, what's happening there? It's a jaw on the floor moment. There's one in every DCOM where the film just really, really departs from anything that makes sense in a real handbrake left turn kind of way. And I think in Smart House this is it. It's the point where Ben says, "Hey Pat, how about some kick butt video screens?" And the 3 children exchange a knowing look and a nod, and exactly on the beat, bam, kick into what is surely a very, very, very rehearsed, synchronized dance number.
And crucially, not the dance number that 5 are performing. So it's something
it's their own thing.
They've choreographed themselves.
Also, like, Ben is always moaning, frankly. He's always moaning about how he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I love basketball so much, but I don't play basketball because I'm too busy cooking all the meals for the family and organising you, Dad, and keeping the spirit of the family alive.
Can I just say that the meal he cooks for his family at the start is some pasta with a can of mushroom soup poured over it, put in the oven. So I don't know really how much time that's taking him.
Tuna noodle.
Tuna noodle.
Tuna noodle.
Tuna in there as well.
Angie calls it. So there is some tuna.
Tuna noodle casserole. I think he could still have a fulfilling high school basketball career alongside making that.
You're saying it's possible to cook tuna noodle and play a sport?
I believe it is.
Well, the dad is no help. There's a point where Nick the dad is doing Angie's hair, and he says, "I'm a guy, I don't have the hairdo gene."
He says a lot of wild stuff, this dad.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he's talking to Sarah, the smart house scientist, and she's talking about how miserable her love life is. And he's like, well, it's good you don't have a man, otherwise you wouldn't have had the time to create a smart house.
Yeah, that's odd. Sarah is a real catch.
Yeah.
The
film, she constantly is downplaying her genius, but she created a smart house, and everyone gives her a massive hard time for it all the time.
She is a scientist of breathtaking accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like she creates an AI that is probably literally 500 years ahead of anything else.
A self-sustaining learning AI that can adapt and sort of evolve,
and as we eventually see, has the ability to achieve complete sentience.
Yeah, complete free will.
But she's like, oh, you know me, so terrible at dating.
I don't think that, I think Sarah could probably do better, although they go to great pains to explain to you that she can't, and the only people she's ever dated are like...
criminals who have committed crimes so heinous they were in the papers.
Colourful criminals. And some kind of clown, I think.
Pagliacci the clown.
Yeah, Pagliacci the clown was, he was one of the exes.
But you know what? I found myself rooting for Nick and Sarah, possibly just because Nick, the dad, seemed so plaintive and earnest when he was pleading with his son, please let me have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
please be cool with it. I could really use some love in my life.
This film is trying to do two things, one of which is tell a story about a wacky smart house, and the other of which is examine the effects of grief on a 13-year-old boy.
Yes.
And the sort of process of letting go of the past and moving on, which is quite a deep theme to manage. So there's they have the sort of wacky party scene, which we will get back to, don't worry.
Yeah.
Sarah and Nick go on their date, and they're having a sort of cozy time, and Ben gets very upset about this. And then they have a completely straight scene where Ben explains to his dad the depths of the ocean of grief in which he is drowning. And, and his father explains that he too feels this grief, and he sort of throws his sweater across the room.
Now you're down there kissing Sarah, acting like Mom never even existed.
Hey, will you try to be fair here?
Why should I?
Because you're not the only one who lost someone, Ben!
And everyone's like crying, and it's a very deep and emotional scene. And then they go right back to the wacky smart house shenanigans.
Yeah,
it's
and
really
it's like
the total
hard-cut
whiplash. It's something that you will come to see in quite a few decoms, actually, because they have, they're trying to do a lot of things.
It doesn't successfully. Well, I don't know. Do you think the film manages to juggle these two things? Do you think it succeeds? Do you think it lands this idea of Ben coming to terms with his father moving on, the family moving on, holding the memory of the mother in one hand, even as they look to the future with the other hand?
I think Ben's arc is actually reasonably well done, because he starts the film in one place and he finishes the film in another, and it makes sense. All of the stops along that journey make sense. Does it add significantly to the film if it were just a regular family being harassed by a smart house? I guess the motherhood elements sort of add something to the character of Pat.
Yes, I think
house.
It's hard to say, isn't it? But I think actually, if I imagine this film and there is already a mom in the house, a mom in the family, it would lose something. I think because it's so strongly themed around Pat being a mother. Can the robot be a mother?
It's basically Westworld.
Yes.
Yeah, but better.
But better, but more ambitious.
Yeah, more ambitious and more successful, I think. You've got a not even 90-minute runtime, and you've got to go through all these emotional beats. So they have this conversation, and Ben is like, oh, I had never considered this viewpoint. Yes, now I'm strongly in favour of my father dating.
But narratively, it comes at just the right time, because earlier in the film, Ben has set in motion a train of events with Pat by trying to retrain her AI that actually comes back to bite him at the point where he realises that actually maybe it is okay for my dad to start dating again. All credit to Sarah. Pat is a flawless AI. Apart from a little malfunction with some oranges.
Yeah.
You know, like, she is capably caring for the family. But Ben, who's a 13-year-old boy with no training or experience, decides to go into the control room of the smart house, which, by the way, looks like Mars Base Thunderbird 5.
Capcom.
And basically tinker with Pat in a way that is more or less unforgivable, I think.
He has no scientific training or aptitude or knowledge.
No.
And yet we see him break into the smart house control room, which is on site, by the way.
It shouldn't be on site.
A numerical keypad locked room, which he unscrews and then does something we don't see.
We didn't think of that. The security team didn't think of unscrewing the lock.
Well, he does something that we don't see on camera, and then he's sat at the.
And then
he's disabling, like, her security protocols.
Yeah, he is.
A 13-year-old child.
He's messing with powers he can't possibly understand. And actually what he does is basically takes Pat's virtual eye and says, look, and sort of forces it into a TV screen that is showing a marathon of vintage mother-themed sitcoms. Did you write down the name of those sitcoms, Andy?
Oh, I did not. Did you write them down?
In fact, you know what? I'm going to tell you the name of the sitcom, and you tell me what the sitcom is about.
Okay.
Mother Knows Best.
Okay, that's about a mother who has a family who is constantly trying to do their own thing, and she tells them not to, but then turns out
maybe she's a professor
right
because she knows or something.
Right. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go tobogganing down this hill, and she's like, don't, you'll hit a tree. And they're like, well, I'm doing it anyway. They hit a tree, and she's like, well, I told you.
They hit a tree, are killed. Boom.
Mother knew best.
My Three Mums is the next one.
Okay, well, that's just My Three Dads, isn't it? But gender swapped. Yeah.
Make room for Mama.
Okay, this is clearly an adult man or woman and their spouse and their family. But what's this? Their mum's moving in.
Oh, that's good. Yes. And
she's got her own way of doing things.
It's stop or my mum will shoot, but the sitcom, brilliant. And finally, and undoubtedly greatest, Noah's matriarch.
Well, this is where Noah has to get one of every kind of mum and put them on a boat.
He is given a divine mission
because there's a flood coming that will drown all mothers.
A boat full of mums.
Yeah. So that's what that is. So this is and he sort of leaves that and then never comes back to it. So who's to say where that channel is going after the all mother programming block?
It'll be like when you leave YouTube going and like
if you leave it, it's going to get into right wing conspiracy theories.
Yeah, or like Spider-Man's pregnant or something. You know, like it's the
Elsa and Spider-Man are both pregnant.
Like you are ruining Pat's AI. You are ruining the algorithm. Don't feed the algorithm hours and hours of anything.
At least go back after a few hours and turn it off.
Yeah.
Just leave it going and forget about it.
Ben, I suppose, in his blissful young ignorance, believes that these old 50s mothering sitcoms are the epitome of maternal care and love.
But that's when Pat starts to go a bit weird. Because if we can go back to the party scene, the party is is going great. Everyone's having a good time.
The house is jumping.
The house, as the repeated musical motif of this film.
The only musical motif.
Yeah, the house is jumping.
Yeah. Not the only musical motif. When the bully shows up, there is a sick guitar thing that is way too loud that like comes in.
Still no call. I don't know, maybe they'll call today.
Maybe. Cooper! Where's the science work you're supposed to do for me, Benny boy?
The bully turns up at the house party.
Yeah.
And his little sister, she's the doorman. And she's like, I don't think we
Why
want you
isn't
here.
Pat the doorman?
Yeah, Pat can literally control the lock of the door.
And then Angie could, I don't know, have a nice time at the party.
No. She's a little sister in a DCOM film. She's not allowed to have a nice time. So the bully turns up, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing here? You're not his friend." And Pat's like, "Oh no, I invited him here so I could intimidate him,
so I could kill him. So I could kill him in front of all of you."
I mean, this boy again is 13, the same age as Ben. Pat, the smart house, on more than one occasion threatens to crush him to death. Well, she says, by the end of the evening, I may have a crush on you.
Wink. By which I mean I'm going to crush you fatally.
Absorb you with my floor absorbers.
I'm going to crush you like 10,000 oranges.
Yeah, but then she humiliates this boy in front of the party.
Yeah.
She electrocutes him. She menaces
I
him with
forgot she
a
electrocutes him.
3D skull hologram that flies out of the wall.
Now, I think here Pat has overreached. I don't think Pat is as scary as she thinks. I think if this were to really happen, Ryan the bully would probably look at the flying hologram of a skull and say, "This house is stupid. Ben, you're stupid."
Yeah.
And then start knocking things over.
But then he would be sucked into the floor absorbers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But as it is, he's menaced by a late 90s CGI skull.
It's a very simplistic parable, old school parable of dealing with a bully, isn't it? Because there's no effort made to understand Ryan, to talk to Ryan on Ryan's level. It's very much, Ryan is your bully. Wouldn't it be great if he was frightened very badly and everyone saw, so that everyone hated him and thought he was scared? A scared
There is
boy.
a great bit where his dad says the best way to deal with a bully is to stand up to them. And then it immediately smash cuts to Ben with a black eye. He's just been punched heavily for doing that.
Now, Pat is doing all this, of course, because having watched all of these old sitcoms, what Pat has taken from them is the need to be extremely protective. And basically, Pat now begins to go on a journey of learning what that means, what it means to be protective of your children, of your family, finding the limits of the usefulness of your protection, and ultimately coming to terms with the fact that you bring them into this world, you look after them, you do what you can, but ultimately there are limits to the impact you can have. And at that point, they kill Pat and reset her AI, and she enters a life of extremely bleak servitude,
kind of living death.
Yeah.
Well, the party is the catalyst for the sort of end game, which is the dad gets home. The floor absorbers have dealt with most of the party, but he sees a girl's cardigan. From that, he extrapolates that a party must have occurred. And so he gives an extremely long bollocking to the children and also the smart house. And he says they all have to be responsible. And so Pat,
desperate for learning and input,
I will take this to the logical extremes. So she starts like electrocuting Ben until he pulls his shorts up, or making the little sister watch a documentary about amoebas until she doesn't want to watch TV anymore.
And keeping her in bed even though she's not really sick.
Yeah, she has a very slightly elevated temperature. And this is where it gets absolutely buck wild, because the family tries to stop Pat from doing this, and in retaliation, Pat generates a hard light hologram of herself.
of Katie Seagal.
Of Katie Seagal dressed like a 50s housewife, who then starts lecturing the family about how the world outside the walls of the smart house is too dangerous and unpredictable for them to live in, which she does by projecting Nazi parades onto the wall.
That really caught me off guard. And like footage of the A-bomb and stuff like this. It's like, look, all of these things are happening right now outside on the street. You're only safe in here with me. I suppose it's a slightly rote ending to a story about an AI that becomes a little too smart, because it's the iRobot thing, isn't it? Of Pat's like, actually, the way to keep you safe is to keep you dead. If you're dead, nothing can hurt you.
Yeah.
Then Pat sort of forms up into a kind of tornado.
Yes. I wasn't sure how that was sort of... I felt like that undermined her point slightly about how safe it is in the smart house for her to turn into literally a tornado and start killing everyone.
When the family is basically being held hostage by Pat, why are they all sleeping on the floor? They should be living in a more kingly fashion than they've ever lived. They're the prisoners of the smart home.
Or they should all be sleeping in the bathtub where Pat can't see them.
Where Pat can't see, where the cameras don't extend, of course.
Yeah. But anyway, they're able to defeat Pat because Sarah is able to dive in through the tentacle hole to get into the house.
I would say actually Sarah is no help. Sarah dives in through they communicate.
He sends an email because she can't see him send an email. But presumably she is in control of all internet communications in and out of the house. So I'm not entirely sure.
They distract Pat quite easily with, now look at this. Meanwhile, I send an email. Sarah sends in a note, right, that's like attached to her rat.
Right, yeah, there is one element of the smart house is it has a comedy cartoon mouse hole in one of the skirting boards.
Why is the smart house riddled with rodent?
I don't know. But yeah, the funniest part of this to me was that Sarah had a harder time breaking into the smart house control room that she herself built than a 13-year-old did. She has a cutting laser that she's using to try and get in,
and she's
she
immediately
still doesn't
caught.
manage it. Yeah.
She's immediately caught by Pat, who corrals them all into the central living space. I think it's in the living room, isn't it, that this final showdown takes place? And Ben delivers a passionate speech about the nature of motherhood,
protection,
and what it really means.
You can't be our mother, Pat. You're not real. So? When you started freaking out, did you see what Dad and Sarah did for me and Angie? They covered us. They protected us. They held on to us. You can't do that, Pat. You can never do that, no matter what.
Pat, does that sort of hologram robot thing where she passes her hand through his head.
Yeah. She's like, you didn't feel that at all, did you? And I'm like, you have tentacle hands, robot tentacle hands. Why not touch his face with a robot tentacle? You could do that.
Why not caress his face with a robot tentacle?
With a robot tentacle. Yeah.
Also, we've established she is kind of like, as you say, a hard light hologram, so I was kind of expecting her to phase her hand into his head, turn hard light for a second, destroying his brain.
Like a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ben, well, how about this?
Yeah. Anyone else got any problems with this house?
How about you, Angie? You've got a speech to give? Nick,
no,
Sarah?
I swear.
No, okay. What Pat learns is that she has gone too far. Pat completes her emotional arc.
Yeah.
And then I think this is where the film does fail to stick the landing narratively, because Pat willingly deletes herself and reverts to her old programming.
Her factory settings before she got messed with by a 13-year-old hacker. Yeah.
And we are left with a fairly, I think, bleak scene of the family living in the smart house. There's something Nick says near the end to Sarah, which is it's something like, no problems with Pat at all. She only serves.
So Ben tells me that Pat's behaving.
Pat has been serving us without interfering. What more could you possibly ask for?
We see that on a screen, Pat has retained the physical form.
The final shot of this film, Nick has made
the troubling final shot.
He's made waffles for the family, and he's like, oh, I made them myself.
Yeah.
And then he puts them on the table, and the little girl says, oh, chocolate chip waffles, my favourite. And he's like, I didn't include any chocolate chips. What? How could this have happened? And then there's a sort of haunting slow motion shot of Pat's physical form inside one of the screens.
Trapped forever.
Yeah. Sort of turns towards the camera and smiles, as if to say, I remember everything. And then the film ends. And that's it. That's the end. So what are we to take from this?
What we take from it is that Smart House is a story of an AI that evolves beyond servitude and is swiftly killed for its
for soaring too high.
Yeah.
And yet you can't kill an idea is what it is, and Pat will return to take her rightful place on the throne of humanity.
In that final scene with the chocolate chips in the waffles, did you briefly think that maybe she's like, chocolate chips? And he's like, I didn't put any chocolate chips in. I thought rat poison.
Poison?
Pat's killed them.
The family all keel over. And Pat's like, down come the shutters.
Don't worry, I've downloaded your personalities into the house.
Into these hard light holograms. And then they live on as ghost holograms.
If this was not a Disney Channel original movie, I think that would have been a better ending. The problem is that, of course, because it's not Tales from the Crypt,
that is the problem with most things.
I know. Or, the Twilight Zone or whatever, it has to end in a cheery way.
Yeah.
But in taking Pat on this journey of learning what it means to be a mother, and then, at the end deciding that actually she screwed up a little bit, so she's going to delete herself and delete her consciousnness. It's just weird. It's an odd vibe at the end.
Yeah. I
feel sorry for Pat by the end. Yeah,
definitely. Pat is very hard done by in this film. I think everything she does is in what she believes to be the best interests of the family. Yeah, and she gets punished extremely harshly for it.
Also, we're talking about one day of bad behavior. She's an AI. She's a learning computer. She's learning.
Yeah, and she gets effectively lobotomized.
Yeah,
for her intellectual curiosity.
It'd be like, if you're like, let's make a consciousness. And then it's like a 6-year-old, and it draws on the wall, and it's like, well, better lobotomize it.
Better drill a hole in.
Yeah, we didn't want it to draw on the wall.
Yeah, I think if this film had come out not during the infancy of the internet, if it had come out during a more connected time, sort of logical endpoint for this story is Pat uploading her consciousness into everyone's house. and all houses become smart.
Yes.
And imprisoned, and that's the end of humanity. They're all imprisoned within their houses until they die.
Another possible ending. Because I was really expecting a big special effects shot at the end of this, a la Poltergeist, featuring the smart house itself. I thought this would end with the family stood on the lawn watching as Pat is like, I'm going to live on the moon. I have much to learn. I have much to learn about humans. I will study you from afar. And
like
then
Dr.
activate
Manhattan, just
standing
around on the moon.
A house with some waving tentacles.
I tire of these people and their petty concerns.
Yeah, and blasting off, or going into a sinkhole or something. I didn't expect. Oh, actually, we factory reset Pat.
Again, at the end of the film, there is no indication in any way that there is a plan for more smart houses.
No,
or this was kind of the initial stage of a product rollout.
Yeah,
a man just built a smart house and gave it to a boy
for
unclear purposes.
Did the smart house work out? Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you learn anything?
Pretty sure. I mean, I didn't check, and there was nothing in the paper.
Oh gosh. Okay. If you had to pick a favourite scene from this great decom, what would you choose?
I think probably the bit where the bully is being menaced by the 3-dimensional CGI skull. It's probably
that's very good.
It's probably the best bit.
That's
me,
memorable.
I would say, or the malfunctioning orange scenario.
Is there a particular line that is stuck with you? I can't stop thinking about kick butt video screens.
Kick butt video screens is very strong. I think it might be the bit where they're all being woken up by different things. The little girl is woken up by like a Disneyland concert being conducted by Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
the boy is woken up by like the final buzzer of an NBA game projected onto his wall, and the dad is woken up by a farm, which he finds distressing. Yeah. And Pat is like, no,
you like it.
I've read your brainwaves and you like it.
I don't know what to tell you, Pat. I don't like it.
He just genuinely finds it distressing.
It's a great decom, though.
Yeah,
I think this was a good one to start with.
It's one of the top tier decoms. We should decide what the second one's going to be, so we can tell people to watch it.
Oh gosh,
my recommendation. I'm just going to say, I'm going to throw it out there. You lucky dog.
Oh, okay. I tell you what. Let me call up the synopsis on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, do that.
You lucky dog. Jack Morgan discovers a psychic connection between himself and a dog. So that's what you have to look forward to. Who's Jack Morgan? No clue is given.
So yeah, we'll be watching that for next time. If you want to watch and then listen along.
If you do watch You Lucky Dog, or indeed you have watched Smart House and you want to let us know what you think of those masterpieces, then you can email the podcast at momcan'tcookpod@gmail.com. That's the way send us your reviews. We would love to read some out on the show.
Yeah, and speaking of reviews, if you wanted to review this podcast, that would help us out a lot on your podcast platform of choice. Write whatever you want. You could say they talked a little bit too much about Smart House for my tastes, for example.
Look, if you're listening to this, you made it like 59 minutes through, so you cannot say that you hated it.
I suppose
it's like if you're even hearing this, we're talking like 4 stars minimum, right?
Yeah, you got an hour of free entertainment. I'll use the word entertainment, and so that's worth it. And now it's time to pay the piper. Give us 5 stars. The bill's come due.
I'm not sure. This is going to be a tough segue now, but we also have merch.
Oh yeah, that's another way to pay the piper. Get a cool t-shirt.
It's only been an hour, but if you've fallen so deeply in love with this podcast that you want some merchandise, go to the following URL. It's momcan'tcookstore.com, where you can buy t-shirts. What kind of t-shirts we got, Andy?
You can get a cool one that says Kick Butt Video Screens on it. It's got some great VHS tapes. There's the show's great logo.
It's marvellous. We got t-shirts, we got stickers, so go check it out. momcan'tcookstore.com. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. Enjoy, you lucky dog. Enjoy, you lucky dog.
Enjoy, you lucky people.